Welcome back to the Outlaw Ranch, y'all. Yesterday we left off, we got the two pieces for the rear subframe. They go from this bar here and they come up and back, and hopefully they land somewhere in that flat notch. That's where the other one landed. This is the other side of the truck, and we made those bars is exactly the same as I knew how to do. So today, I thought I would start by trying to notch these other two pieces, that one there, and then the other one's over there by the welder, for the front. The problem that I have here with the front is these frame rails pinch in a little bit. You can see here they're nice and straight, and then as we go forward here, you can see they pinch in right there. And while I am still working on my confidence for tube bending, I'm okay with, a single bend here or maybe a single bend there, for like a very two-dimensional piece. This one, though, would need a bend here and then another bend there to go the other way so that, it still ended up parallel. And I'm not sure if I have that confidence. The more bends that we put in this, and if we don't have some bracing, at each bend here, we're opening up an area for these tubes to bend more severely under the torque of these axles and tires and stuff. So I'm trying to keep the bends as minimal as possible. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think, to be lazy, really, I'm going to go ahead and put that tube there, and I'm just going to come straight off of these here, and I'm just going to angle it straight till it hits the frame there, I think is what I'm going to do. Remembering that this first leg here is at 15 degrees from level, and then that puts that leg there at 45 degrees where it ties into the frame. I think that's what I'm going to do first. We're going to give that a try. First things first, we'll put this fish mouth in here, the notch in both of those tubes, and we'll see where they land up here on the frame. The other reason why I was thinking I was going to have to put this little dog leg in here is to clear the shocks. The shock mount does come off of this frame, probably somewhere in here off of the first bend. We're not quite to the second bend, but somewhere in here. And it's going to travel down at a slight outward angle to the outside of this axle here. I think the tubing will clear, and I don't think I'll have to put that notch in there because that mount does come out quite a ways before it comes down. So we're going to try it first. If it doesn't work, then maybe we'll work into putting the dog leg in that tube. I'm just not confident, and, well, let's be honest, I'm a little lazy. So let's get those tubes notched first, and then we'll come back and revisit whether that dog leg needs to be in there or not. Okay, folks, I kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit about what it takes to get these tubes notched so that the front ones have the same dimension to the bend as the rear ones. Otherwise, it would look kind of funny. And it's put the saw as close to the tube as you can, like this. Then you move the tube so that you're taking out, the minimal amount. Then it's put a level on this to make sure that everything is level, because this thing is. And then make sure that this part where it kicks out is level also. If this was pushed down or if it was pulled up, that would make this notch not where we want it. That the notch would be cattywampus one way or the other, and it wouldn't line up exactly with the subframe hoops that we have in here. And we've all learned that I'm not a welder, and so everything needs to be as tight as possible. So that's what we've done here. And it's chuck the tube up, tighten down the clamp, come over here, make sure that it's in the right spot. No, it's not. Okay, loosen the clamp, move this, either in or out, tighten it back up. Okay, now we have that where it needs to go. Let's check for level and let's check for level. Nope, that's not it. Loosen this up, try not to move this in here, and then just kick this up or down, get it level, come back, tighten the clamp. And so it's back and forth numerous times. I'm hoping there's another way, a better way of doing this. I just haven't discovered it yet. Maybe if I had measured, directly from the tabletop to this and then had a block or something that was exactly the same, or actually probably just measure from here to here and then duplicate it over here. That would be the way to go. But anyways, just a little insight in why it takes me, all afternoon just to get 2 done, and hoping that I can increase my productivity a little bit on this one. Just a little FYI, that's all. Okay, folks, and amazingly enough, it looks like I have these 2 notches exactly the same spot. Again, what I did, it's a lot of work with the speed square here. You come here, everything's touching, and you can see that for whatever reason the top is a little longer than the bottom is, and I think what's happening is this hole saw isn't quite going exactly through the center there. So it's okay, it's close, and we're not going to notice that, especially once I come in here and bevel this edge and stuff. They are going to be the same, just like these other ones were over here. Then again, with the speed square, checking everything, make sure everything's square. Everything is square. And then kind of standing over it and eyeballing down everything. And you can see that that bend is in exactly the same spot. So getting lucky again. I'm pretty sure I haven't got anything else figured out. This is just luck. So we're going to keep working on this. If you'll remember, one of these is going to be longer than the other, and that wasn't a big deal because the reason this one is so much longer is because it represented what was left of that 23-foot stick. I just didn't cut the end of it off. So I'm going to put this shorter one in first. We'll get it in place, check it out, see how it looks, and then hopefully we can get that second piece again to be a carbon copy match of the first one. So stand by, folks. Okay, folks, this should give us a little bit of a visual here on this subframe here, so you can kind of see what's going on. That front one there still isn't cut to length or anything. It needs to come up a little bit. That bubble level is not quite where it needs to go. So this tube here needs to come up a little bit more, not much, it's really close. And you can see how it would look there. All I did was just tack this rear one in very weakly just to hold it there so I could kind of get a good visual. I checked with the 2-foot level here from block to block. And if I hold it up here, you can see we're good. Well, we're really close. We're not perfect, but we're really close. And I can adjust these tubes, up or down a little bit so that they do plane in well. You can see there is a gap there at the bottom. So this tube is still coming in here on this bend for the main hoops there. And it looks like, yeah, there's a gap there on that bottom one, or on the front one as well. So they are still coming in on those bends a little bit. But I think I'm going to leave them. These are jobs here that I think I'm going to have to source to somebody else because my welding probably isn't good enough for structure. And that's what this is. This is structural. So I'll see if I can't get somebody else in here who can, certainly do a better job than I can. But it does look pretty good. I think I like it. I'm going to leave it like this for a little bit. I'm going to keep coming back and forth and looking at it, seeing if there's anything I want done differently. As of right now, I don't think there is. I think I'm going to leave it, but I don't want to make any snap decisions. So we're going to leave this like this for now, and I'll come back to it and we'll look some more at this. But so far, I kind of like the way it's looking. Those tubes are at about 15 degrees, then they're 45 where they go up to the frame. The other problem, gosh, I better mention this, right here, this is more than a 45-degree angle to this frame. This frame is actually coming downhill just slightly. And remember, this tube needs to come up. So as soon as it does that, this cut will be more than a 45. And my chop saw, as you remember from yesterday, doesn't go past 45. So that cut is probably going to have to get done with a portaband, which I do have. But yeah, we'll come back to it here in a little bit. I'm going to stare at this a little bit more, make sure this is what I want. So we'll end this video with this. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff really does help the channel, helps us grow. I've been getting a couple of comments and I really appreciate it. I think I've answered them. And you guys have ideas that I didn't have. So I appreciate that. It gives me things to think about, and maybe I can build upon or expand or whatever, make your suggestions work for what I'm trying to do. So I really do appreciate that. Until then, we'll catch you all next time. I appreciate everything. We'll see you later.